Session is called to order. Please rise for the singing of our national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupit, di ka pasisilil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong paghang, may nilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagtitinig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa'y di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng maraming pagsikat, buhay ay langit sa ating ko. Aming ligaya dapat may mamating at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please remain standing for a minute of silent prayer. Session is suspended. Session is resumed. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we call the roll of members.
is there any objection? Hearing none, the Secretary General is directed to call the roll of members.
Roll call of members. Honorable Representatives Abalos, Abante,
Asidre, Acosta, Adyong, Advincula,
Agaraw, Agyaw, Alano, Alba, Albano, Almario Chino Miguel, Almario Dennis, Almonte, Alvarez Jose, Alvarez Mercedes, Amante, Amatong, Angara, Angeles, Aquino, Aquino Magsaysay, Arbison Munir, Arbison Munir Jr., Arenas, Arrogancia, Asistio, Ataide, Comentado, Ayon, Bagaw, Balindong, Banyas Nograles, Pancoro, Barba, Barbers, Baronda, Barzaga, Bascub, Bautista Claude, Bautista Johan Munich, Bautista Lim, Beltran, Benitez Alfredo, Benitez Javier Miguel, Bernos Ching, Bernos JB, Biron, Bocobo, Bolilia,
Bondo, Briones, Bulot Begtang, Cagas,
Calderon, Calixto, Kawagdan, Cari, Castro, Caiton, Celeste, Tendanya, Ceniza, Chan Jan Franz Norbert Joselito Almario, Chan Junard, Chua, Chua Tay, Chunggalaw, Ko Pilar, Pohuangco Jaime Eduardo Mark, Pohuangco Mark, Colliantes, Corvera, Cruz Agatha, Cruz Ricardo, Cruzado, Pua, Dagook, Dalog, Dayang Hirang, Daza, De Jesus, Lima, Venecia, Defensor, Degamo, Del Mar, De Los Santos, Di Makuha, Di Magila, Di Maporo Imelda, Di Maporo City Amina, Diokno, Dionisio, Domingo, Domogan, Duterte Harold James, Duterte Omar Vincent, Duterte Paulo, D. Faustino,
D. Faustino Michael Carlos. D. Ian Paul. Lago. Mano. Enverga. Erice. Escudero. Espares. Espina. Estrella. Ferrer Antonio. Ferrer Jeffrey. Flores. Cortez. Frasco. Fresnedi. Pentebella. Galang. Calleos. Garbin. Garcia Albert. Garcia Dante. Garcia Jose Arturo. Garcia Karen Hope. Garcia Maria Angela. Guardiola. Garin. Gatchalian. Pato. Glepa. Go. Gomez. Gonzales Alexandria. Gonzales Eliza Micaela. Gonzales Christopher Sheen. Gonzales Roy. Goriseta. Gico. Gintu. Julias. Gutierrez. Hernandez Cherise Ann. Hernandez Dennis. Hernandez Ferdinand. Hernandez Ramil. Ofer Hasim. Horibata. Ismula. Iway. Javier. Co Antonio. Co Elisa. Co Wilton. Kong Hun. Co. Labad-labad. Lakson. Lagbas. Agdomeo Jose Manuel. Lagdameo Monique Yasmin Maria. Lagman. Lagon Daphne. Lagon Sunny. Lara. Lazatin. Ledesma. Legacion. Legarda. Legazpi. Leviste. Libanan. Lopez. Doria. Loyola. Luistro. Lumayag. Makapagal Arroyo. Makasait. Maceda. Madrona. Malapitan. Mangudadatu. Manikis. Marañon. Marcoleta. Marcos. Marquez. Mastura. Matibag. Matugas. Mendoza. Mercado. Mercado Revilla. Miraflores. Momo. Montes. Nava. Nazal. Nisay. Nolasco. Waminal Henry. Waminal Sancho Fernando. Odocado. Olivares. Ongchuan. Ordanes. Oreta. Ortega. Awano Dizon. Padiernos. Panaligan. Pancho. Panotes. Pascual. Perez. Pimentel. Plaza. Plato. Poe. Primicia Sagabas. Pumaren. Puno. Kimbo. Rama. Recto. Rehencia. Remulia. Revilla Brian. Revilla Ramon Jolo. Ridon. Rivera. Robes. Rodriguez Eulogio. Rodriguez Maximo. Rodriguez Rufus. Roman. Romualdez Andrew Julian. Romualdez Ferdinand Martin. Romualdez Yeda Marie. Romualdo. Romulo. Roque. Sagarbaria. Sakaluran. Salceda. Sally. Salvacion. Salvador. Salvame. San Fernando. Santos Maria Alana Samantha. Santos Mark Anthony. Shimura. Singson Richelle. Singson Ronald. Singson Mihan. Solon. Suwan. Swansing Bella Vanessa. Swansing Micaela Angela. Suarez. Suntay. Talyado. Tan Amon. Tan Joseph. Tan Keith Micah. Tan Reynolds Michael. Tan Samir. Tan Stephen James. Tan Chai. Tan Watko. Tariela. Teodoro. Tereng. Teves. Tiangco. Tieng. Tino.
Ay, good.
Tolentino.
Ayaw ko mag-ano.
Tuan. Tulfo Jocelyn. Tulfo Ralph Wendell. Tupas. Tutor. T. Umali. Ungam. Uy De Carlo. Uy Roberto. Valeriano. Vargas. Vargas Alfonso. Veloso. Veloso Tuazon. Vergara. Villa. Villafuerte Miguel Luis. Villafuerte Vincenzo Renato Luigi. Villanueva. Villarica. Violago. Yamsuan. Yap Arthur. Yap Christopherson. Yap Edvic. Yap Eric. Yap John G. Snell. Yatko. Inares. Yu Jazel Victoria. Yu Joseph Kim. Yulo. Zamora Maria Carmen. Zamora Isabel Maria. Zubiri. Mr. Speaker, The roll call shows that 260 members responded to the call.
With 260 members responding to the call, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we proceed with the reference of business and may request the Secretary General to read the title of the bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as communications and committee reports.
is there any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Secretary General is directed to read the titles of the bills and resolution on first reading, as well as communication and committee reports for referral to the appropriate committees.
Reference of business. Bills on first reading. House Bill 7523, strengthening the special program in creative arts for junior and senior high school, by Representative Hernandez Cheriz Ann.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 7524, declaring January 9 of every year a special non-working holiday in the entire country to commemorate the Feast of the Black Nazarene, by Representative Suwan.
To the Committee on Revision of Laws.
House Bill 7525, providing protection to the remittances of OFWs, by Representative Suwan.
To the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs.
House Bill 7526, regulating the collection of contributions from students, teachers, and parents of public and private elementary and secondary schools, by Representative Suwan.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 7527, creating the Associate Degree in Nursing program, by Representative Suwan.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 7528, strengthening the field offices of the COMELEC, by Representative Suwan.
To the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms.
House Bill 7529, granting certain rights and privileges to subsistence fisherfolks, by Representatives Duterte Harold James, Duterte Paulo, Duterte Omar Vincent, and Ungab.
To the Committee on Aquaculture and Fisheries Resources.
House Bill 7530, establishing job placement offices in public high schools, by Representative Yap Christopherson.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 7531, providing for mandatory tax relief in times of calamity, by Representative Yap Christopherson.
To the Committee on Ways and Means and the Committee on Disaster Resilience.
House Bill 7532, amending the Doktor para sa Bayan Act, by Representative Yap Christopherson.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 7533, establishing the Special Local Health Fund for the improvement of health care services in the LGUs, by Representative Yap Christopherson.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 7534, mandating the establishment of mangrove buffer zones in development projects throughout the Philippines, by Representative Yap Christopherson.
To the Committee on Natural Resources.
House Bill 7535, providing for a 5-day special emergency leave for all workers in the public and private sector directly affected by natural calamities or disaster, by Representative Yap Christopherson.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation and the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 7536, establishing a legal scholarship and return service program for deserving students, by Representative Yap Christopherson.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 7537, mandating the provision of comprehensive renal replacement therapy to patients with end-stage renal disease in national, regional, and provincial government hospitals, by Representative Yap Christopherson.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 7538, strengthening the national regulatory framework to prevent and eliminate counterfeit pharmaceutical products, by Representatives Tulfo Jocelyn and Tulfo Ralph Wendell.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 7539, providing for a child and spousal support system, by Representatives Mercado Revilla, Revilla Bryan, and Revilla Lamon Jolo.
To the Committee on Revision of Laws.
House Bill 7540, granting incentives to private businesses that establish and operate elderly care facilities for free, by Representatives Mercado Revilla, Revilla Ramon Jolo, and Revilla Bryan.
To the Committee on Senior Citizens.
House Bill 7541, creating the Professional Regulatory Board of Veterinary Technologists under the PRC, by Representative Santos Maria Alana Samantha.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 7542, establishing a Barangay Skilled Workers Registry, by Representative Santos Maria Alana Samantha.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 7543, to establish a grant program for the provision of therapeutic and rehabilitation services for victims of heinous crimes, by Representative Santos Maria Alana Samantha.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 7544, institutionalizing the grant of internship allowance for students in public and private universities and colleges in the Philippines, by Representative Almario Chino Miguel.
to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
House Bill 7545, prohibiting deceptive and exploitive practices in the buying and or selling of admission tickets in entertainment events, by Representative Almario Chino Miguel.
to the Committee on Trade and Industry,
House Bill 7546, preventing and penalizing nuisance candidates who cause voter confusion through the use of identical or similar names, by Representative Hernandez Ramil.
to the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms,
House Bill 7547, strengthening the meaningful observance of National Youth Day, by Representative Santos Maria Alana Samantha.
to the Committee on Youth and Sports Development,
House Bill 7548, strengthening governance, transparency, and project quality in the Sangguniang Kabataan, by Representative Santos Maria Alana Samantha.
to the Committee on Local Government,
House Bill 7549, instituting a national training, certification, and registry framework for community-based mental health services, by Representative Santos Maria Alana Samantha.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill 7551, establishing national therapy and rehabilitation services centers for PWDs in every province, city, and other strategic areas throughout the country, by Representative Degamo.
to the Special Committee on Persons with Disabilities,
House Bill 7552, mandating the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council to promulgate guidelines for the rescue of animals in cases of calamity, by Representative Degamo.
to the Committee on Disaster Resilience,
House Bill 7553, establishing a passport service satellite office of the DFA in Bayawan, Negros Oriental, by Representative Degamo.
to the Committee on Foreign Affairs,
House Bill 7556, authorizing the city or municipal civil register or the consul general to administratively change the sex and the first name of an intersex person, by Representative Dimacuja.
to the Committee on Justice,
House Bill 7557, promoting a holistic approach in support of children with special needs, by Representative Dimacuja.
to the Committee on Welfare of Children,
House Bill 7558, strengthening the rank classification system of the Bureau of Fire Protection, by Representatives Yap Eric and Yap Edvic.
to the Committee on Public Order and Safety,
House Bill 7559, providing for the transfer of the National Fire Training Institute from the Philippine Public Safety College to the Bureau of Fire Protection, by Representatives Yap Eric and Yap Edvic.
to the Committee on Public Order and Safety,
House Bill 7560, expanding the coverage of the Fire Code, by Representatives Yap Eric and Yap Edvic.
to the Committee on Public Order and Safety,
House Bill 7561, to abolish the estate tax, by Representatives Yap Eric and Yap Edvic.
to the Committee on Ways and Means,
House Bill 7562, 7563, and 7564, converting certain roads in the municipalities of Socorro, Del Carmen, and Pilar in Surigao del Norte into national roads, by Representative Matugas.
to the Committee on Public Works and Highways,
House Bill 7566, creating the National Filipino Family Commission of the Philippines, by Representative Mercado.
to the Committee on Population and Family Relations,
House Bill 7567, establishing the Philippine Sustainable Humanitarian Insurance for Economic Loss and Damage, Phil Sheet Corporation, by Representative Alba.
to the Committee on Climate Change,
House Bill 7568, providing for employment and livelihood opportunities for senior citizens, by Representative Bautista Johan Monich.
to the Committee on Senior Citizens,
House Bill 7569, establishing a national labor market information system, by Representative Bautista Johan Monich.
to the Committee on Labor and Employment,
House Bill 7570, providing for bereavement leave for all employees, by Representative Bautista Johan Monich.
to the Committee on Labor and Employment and the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation,
Resolutions, House Resolution 713, directing the Committee on Transportation and other appropriate committees to conduct an inquiry on the capsizing of MV Trisha Hurston 3, owned and operated by Allison Shipping Lines Incorporated, by Representatives Esmula, Diokno, Sendanya, and Bagao.
to the Committee on Rules,
House Resolution 714, congratulating and commending Arabelle de la Cruz for her victory at the Veiled Cup International Competition in South Korea and for bringing pride and honor to the Philippines, by Representative Hernandez Charisse Ann.
to the Committee on Youth and Sports Development,
House Resolution 715, urging the Committee on Public Accounts to conduct an inquiry on the irregular cash advances in the city government of Cagayan de Oro and the failure of its officials and employees to liquidate said cash advances within the reglementary period set by law by Representative Suwan.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 716, resolution urging the COMELEC to implement the automated election system in the barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections in the NCR by Representative Copilar.
To the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms.
House Resolution 717, directing the appropriate committee, urging the National Electrification Administration to assist Davao Oriental Electric Cooperative Inc. to improve its services and ensuring continuous electric power supply in the province of Davao Oriental by Representative Almario Chino Miguel.
To the Committee on Energy.
House Resolution 718, urging the support of the House of Representatives for the urgent and comprehensive repair and rehabilitation of the Rolando Andaya Highway and Maharlika Highway as critical national infrastructure by Representative Salceda.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Resolution 719, calling on the DOTR and the LTFRB to craft and implement a Pantawid Pasada program for 2026, utilizing available and unobligated funds from fiscal year 2025 by Representative Salceda.
To the Committee on Transportation.
Message from the Senate. Message dated February 2, 2026, informing the House of Representatives that on even date, the Senate passed Senate Bill 1509, the proposed establishment of the Philippine Geriatric Center, defining its purpose and objectives and appropriating funds therefor, in which it requests the concurrence of the House of Representatives.
To the Committee on Health.
Subpoena duces tecum and ad testificandum, pursuant to Section 153, Rule 24 of the Provisional Rules of the House of Representatives, transmitting the subpoena duces tecum and ad testificandum issued by the Regional Trial Court, Branch 215, Quezon City, Re R-QZN-number R-QZN-25-07378-CR. Additional reference of business, communication dated February 2, 2026 from Honorable Edvic G. Yap, representative of ACT CIS Party List, addressed to the House of Representatives, resignation letter.
To the Committee on Rules.
Committee report number 102, submitted by the Committee on Ethics and Privileges, Committee case number PS-2026-12, entitled In the Matter of the Order of the House, through the referral of the privileged speech of Rep. Rolando M. Valeriano and the interpellations thereon in the House plenary session on 27 January 2026, relative to Rep. Francisco A. Berzaga's conduct during the period of his 60-day suspension, on the adopted findings and recommendations as contained in Committee Report number 28, dated 1 December 2025, on Committee Case number SC-2025-03.
To the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we may respectfully request to recognize the guest of Congressman Timothy Joseph Tim Cayton from the Lone District of Nueva Vizcaya. They are the barangay captains of Quezon City.
To the guests of Honorable Timothy Joseph Tim Cayton, the Lone District of Nueva Vizcaya, from the Barangay Captains of Quezon, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we may respectfully request to recognize the guest of Representative Harold Duterte from PPP Party List. They are the GSP officials, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts.
To the guest of Honorable Harold James Duterte of the PPP Party List, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we may respectfully request to recognize the guest of Representative Manuel Co. They are Mr. Derek Yu and Diane Yu.
To the guests of Honorable Manuel Manman Co. of the Abang Lingkod Party List, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we may respectfully request to acknowledge the guest of Speaker Boji D, Bishop Emeritus of Tarlac, Reverend Florentino F. Sinensi, Reverend Father Melvin Baldos, Reverend Father Sherwin Balmores, Reverend Father Raymond Cruz, Reverend Father Michael Guzman, Reverend Father Nixon Liwag, Reverend Father Medel Malonzo, Reverend Father Jeffrey Razon, Reverend Father Michael Jaime Sibal, Reverend Father Harold Taguenes, and Reverend Father Romel Vergara.
To the guest of our Honorable Speaker, Boji D, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of business for the day, I move that we consider House Bill number 7301 as contained in the committee report number 69 submitted by the Committee on Veterans Affairs and Welfare, copies of which have been distributed to the members. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 7301.
House Bill 7301, an act declaring the month of April every year as the Philippine Veterans Month.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the chairperson of the Committee on Veterans Affairs and Welfare, Representative Raymond Democrito C. Mendoza from the district of, from party list, PUCP.
The Honorable Deputy Speaker, Democrito Mendoza, is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Daghang salamat, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, everyone and distinguished colleagues. The Committee on Veterans Affairs and Welfare is honored on behalf of our Chairman, Chairman Rudy Kawagdan of the 2nd District of the province of Cotabato to sponsor this House Bill number 7301, an act declaring the month of April as the Philippine Veterans Month. As a son of a World War II veteran, a lawyer, Colonel Democrito Kakito Mendoza, and as president of the Veterans Federation of the Sons and Daughters Association, SDI. Mr. Speaker, I would like to put on record my explanatory notes of House Bill number 7301 as contained in Committee Report number 69, be the sponsorship speech. Ipasa na natin ito, Mr. Speaker, para sa veterano. Mabuhay ang veterano. Daghang kayang salamat.
Thank you, Honorable Mendoza. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there will be no member who wishes to interpolate. I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there will be no individual nor committee amendments. I move that we terminate the period of amendment.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill 7301.
There's a motion to approve on second reading House Bill number 7301. All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 7301 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider House Bill number 7303 as contained in the committee report number 70, copies of which have been distributed to the members. For this purpose, may I request the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair, here's none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 7303.
House Bill number 7303, an act declaring December 12 of every year as the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe Day.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship debate.
Is there any objection? Chair, here's none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the chairperson, the Honorable Representative Audrey K.T. Zubiri from the 3rd District of Bukidnon to sponsor the measure.
The Honorable Zubiri of the 3rd District of Bukidnon now recognized to sponsor the measure.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, and to my fellow Filipinos. I rise today to sponsor House Bill number 7303, entitled An Act Declaring December 12 of every year as a special working holiday in the entire country to commemorate the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. This proposed measure seeks to officially recognize the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, celebrated every 12th of December, a religious and cultural observance that holds deep significance for millions of Catholics in the Philippines and around the world. Mr. Speaker, the Philippines is home to nearly 86 million Catholics, considered as one of the largest Catholic nations in the world. Across the country, devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe has steadily grown, with churches and communities commemorating the feast through mass celebrations and charitable activities that foster unity, compassion, and social solidarity. These values transcend religious affiliation and contribute to the moral foundation of our society. Through House Bill number 7303, we affirm the state's policy to respect the free exercise of religion while recognizing a long-standing cultural and faith tradition that is voluntarily observed by many of our people. By declaring December 12 as a special working day, we will enable Filipinos to participate more meaningfully in the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe without unduly disrupting economic activity. More importantly, it provides space for reflection on values we hold deeply, values that strengthen our families, communities, and the nation as a whole. In light of this, I respectfully and earnestly seek the support of my distinguished colleagues and the House leadership for the passage of House Bill number 7303. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and God bless our nation.
Thank you, Honorable Zubiri. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual nor committee amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on the second reading of House Bill number 7303.
There's a motion to approve on second reading House Bill number 7303. All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 7303 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, if I may, I would like to thank our colleagues for their support for our bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Sabiri. Majority Leader.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider House Bill number 7368, as contained in the committee report number 72 submitted by the committee, copies of which have been distributed to the members. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved. Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 7368.
House Bill number 7368, an act declaring November 30 of every year as Jesus Reigns National Day of Worship.
Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now open. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Honorable Representative Steve Chongbian Solon from the Lone District of Sarangani to sponsor the measure.
the Honorable Steve Chongbian Solon of the Lone District of Sarangani is now recognized to sponsor the measure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my colleagues in this august chamber, I present to you the Jesus Reigns Bill as per Committee Report number 72, which recommended a substitute bill number 7368, declaring November 30 of every year as Jesus Reigns National Day of Worship. This bill was deliberated in the Committee on Revision of Laws, chaired by Chairman Dino Tanwatco, and I thank everyone in the committee for their unanimous approval. My dear colleagues, for your information, this is a refiled bill. This was passed under third reading in the last 19th Congress in the House of Representatives and was transmitted to the Senate on December 12, 2024. The Jesus Reigns Day of Celebration has been observed since November 30, 2012. It started in Cebu and has since then spread to 82 provinces and major cities in the Philippines. It has also spread to other countries, namely Indonesia, Japan, and the United States. This continues to draw a great number of people to the Lord Jesus Christ. This National Day of Worship and Celebration is ecumenical in nature and is participated by Christian congregations and others who want to learn about Jesus Christ. In the Philippines, as stated in the report by the Philippine Statistics Authority in 2020, Christian congregation accounts for about 90% of Filipinos. It stated that, in quotes, 78.8% were Catholics, around 12% were Protestants, and 6.8% were of the Islamic faith. There are other reports that have different figures, but they all indicate that the Christian population represents the great majority of Filipinos. This bill therefore seeks to grant the millions of Christians and non-Christians who wish to know and celebrate the greatness of Jesus the space to express and apply their faith. May this august chamber once again push for this bill's approval. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my dear colleagues.
Thank you, Honorable Solon. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now closed. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The period of amendments now open. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual nor committee amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The period of amendments now closed. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on the second reading of House Bill number 7368.
there is a motion to approve on second reading House Bill number 7368. All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 7368 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, motion to suspend for a few minutes.
session is suspended. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider House Bill number 7379 as contained in the committee report number 73, submitted by the committee, copies of which have been distributed to the members. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 7379.
House Bill 7379, an act declaring December 19 of every year as the National Masonic Day.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Honorable Representative Lordan G. Suan from the 1st District of Cagayan de Oro to sponsor the measure.
The Honorable Lordan Suan of the 1st District of Cagayan de Oro City is recognized. Sponsor the measure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, brethren in all Masonic lodges throughout the country, distinguished guests, good afternoon. Today, I consider it an honor and a privilege to sponsor House Bill 7379, an act declaring December 19 of every year as a special working holiday in commemoration of the founding anniversary of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the Philippines. Henceforth, December 19 of every year shall be known as National Masonic Day. Few organizations have stood the test of time, and even fewer have proven steadfast to their founding mission. The Free and Accepted Masons of the Philippines endured, thrived, and remained relevant in the life of this nation. Our nation's history attests to the significant impact and meaningful contributions of Freemasonry in the lives of Filipinos and to the development of our democratic ideals. As early as the 1850s, the ideas of civil rights and equality were planted in the minds of Filipino propagandists when they joined Masonic lodges in Spain. These liberal ideas greatly influenced the propaganda movement, finding their way into the writings of Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. del Pilar, and Graciano Lopez Haina. Early Filipino lodges, despite persecution by the colonial government, became safe havens for reformists and intellectuals. Eventually, some of the brethren joined the revolution, espousing secularism, the rule of law, and Philippine sovereignty. In 1901, membership and activities of Freemasonry became open and legal. It was in 1912 that the Grand Lodge of the Philippine Islands was formed, ushering in the formal recognition of Philippine Masonry. In 1946, the Grand Lodge was renamed the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the Philippines, granting it full sovereignty. The Free and Accepted Masons in the Philippines are fully engaged in different social, civic, and charitable activities. True to their values of humility and quiet service, they undertake community development projects, relief activities, education support initiatives, and social welfare assistance, among others, without much publicity and devoid of partisanship. Yet, they continue to empower communities and support the underprivileged sectors of our society. They partner with local government units, national government agencies, and socio-civic organizations to provide transformative initiatives for nation building. At the same time, all Masonic lodges around the country continue to cultivate the values of charity, fraternity, ethical leadership, discipline, responsibility, unity, and service among their members. This bill, my distinguished colleagues, is a recognition of the significant and historic role of Freemasonry in the Philippines. A Masonic Day, once a year, will keep in our national consciousness the legacy of nation building through charity, brotherhood, and service. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the gentleman From the 1st District of Surigao del Sur, the Honorable Representative Romeo S. Momo Sr. for his interpellation.
The Honorable Romeo Momo is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the good sponsor yield to some questions, Mr. Speaker?
I do, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, may we know the relevance of the date December 19 to the Philippine Masonry?
Mr. Speaker, it was on December 19, 1912, that the Grand Lodge of the Philippine Islands was formed, marking the formal recognition of Philippine Masonry. But it was in 1946 when the Grand Lodge was renamed the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the Philippines, granting it full sovereignty.
Will the good sponsor agree with me that even before the establishment of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of the Philippines in 1912, Masons had been actively participating in nation building and in fighting for freedom and independence? The likes of our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, other heroes like Aguinaldo, Mabini, Bonifacio, Del Pilar, among many others. And that since 1912, there are now 473 active Masonic lodges all over the jurisdiction of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of the Philippines, which includes some parts of Japan, Korea, Guam, and Saipan. All these Masonic lodges have produced worthy brother Masons, both in the public and private sectors, working silently for the betterment of our country and the Filipino people in general. The likes of former Chief Justice and Most Worshipful Rinaldo Puno, Senate President Right Worshipful Vicente Soto III, former Prime Minister Cesar Verata, DepEd Secretary Very Worshipful Sane Angara, to name a few. That even in this august hall, there are brother Masons serving the nation and representing the respective districts and sectors. That since 1912 up to now, Masons continue their active role in nation building, promoting brotherhood and advancing services to others through various charitable activities. Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, as a brother Mason since 1981, and having served as Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of the Philippines in 2018, I humbly manifest my full support to House Bill 7379 and request the kind support of our dear colleagues for the immediate approval of this measure. Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Momo. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Period of amendments now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual nor committee amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the period of amendment now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill 7379.
There is a motion to approve on second reading House Bill number 7379. All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 7379 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to consider the bills on their calendar of business for Thursdays and Friday.
Please proceed.
Pursuant to our rules, I move for omnibus consideration for the following local bills. House Bill number
Majority Leader.
I would like to consider House Bill number 7304 and request the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the said bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 7304.
House Bill number 7304, an act honoring the unsung heroes of electrification by proclaiming the first Monday of August of every year as National Line Workers Appreciation Day.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the chairperson of the committee on. Rather, I would like to recognize the sponsor of said bill, Sergio Dagoc, for his sponsorship.
The Honorable Sergio Dagoc of the APIC Party List is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Majority Leader. Good afternoon, everyone. In behalf of the Chairman of the Committee on Energy, this representation being the principal sponsor of this bill, would like to sponsor the same. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise today with great honor and pride, being a line worker myself, to sponsor House Bill 7304 under Committee Report number 71, a measure that is simple in form, yet significantly profound in meaning, an act honoring the unsung heroes of electrification by proclaiming the first Monday of August of every year as National Line Workers Appreciation Day. This bill honors a group of workers who rarely stand at podiums, but who stand quietly, literally, on the front lines of nation building, our line workers. When calamities strike, when typhoons ravage our communities, when floods swallow roads, when earthquakes shake our foundations, most of us run away from affected areas and seek shelter, but not the line workers, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our line workers move forward in danger, while winds still howl and rain still pours. They climb poles, restore broken lines, and re-energize communities, often at great personal risk, so that hospitals can function, water systems can run, businesses can reopen, and families can begin to rebuild. Let me be clear, Mr. Speaker, without line workers, there would be no electricity. Without electricity, there would be no economic activity. Without economic activity, there would be no development. And without development, there can be no civilization as we know it. Electricity is not a luxury. It is the bloodstream of modern society. And line workers are the ones who keep that lifeline alive. Pag wala na pong umakyat sa poste, aanihin natin yung mga kawad ng kuryente at linya ng ating mga power lines. Baka tayo na lang po ang akyat para magkailaw yung ating kabahayan. They are the first to respond after disasters and the last to leave. They work in extreme heat, in the dead of the night, and in the aftermath of tragedy, often unseen, often unthanked, and very unfortunately, often unappreciated. This bill does not ask for monuments or grand rewards. We are not seeking for financial or any kind of material incentives. It simply asks the nation to pause once a year, to remember, to recognize, and to appreciate our line workers by declaring the first Monday of August as National Line Workers Appreciation Day, we institutionalize our gratitude. We send a clear message to every line worker from our electric cooperatives, utilities, and power service providers. Your courage matters. Your sacrifices are seen. Your services are valued. Mr. Speaker, this mission is about dignity. It is about recognizing labor not just in times of celebration, but in moments of hardship. It is about honoring those who keep the lights on so that hope can shine, though even in the darkest hours. In honoring our line workers, we honor resilience, we honor service, we honor the quiet heroism that powers our nation every single day. For this reason, Mr. Speaker, I respectfully urge the members of this august chamber to immediately approve this measure. Let us give our line workers what they have long deserved, not applause only after disasters, but a permanent place in our national consciousness. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Honorable Dago. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open a period of amendments.
You have to close the period of
Sponsorship. Sorry. Mr. Speaker, I move that we close the sponsorship debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open a period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments is now closed. Open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual nor committee amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendment.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of amendments now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 7304.
There is a motion to approve on second reading House Bill number 7304. All those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. House Bill number 7304 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to consider bills under the calendar of business for Thursday and Friday.
Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to our rules, I move for the omnibus consideration of the following local bills. House Bill number 2671 under Committee Report 67 and House Bill 3002 under Committee Report 68 submitted by the Committee of Public Works and Highways. And may I request the Secretary General to read the title of the bills.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 2671 and 3002.
House Bill number 2671, an act naming the road commencing from Barangay San Juan at Ormoc City Diversion Road, traversing Barangay San Juan, Lao, and Nawingan until it adjoins the Nawingan Postal Road in the city of Ormoc, province of Leyte, as the Dr. Dominador Gomez Diversion Road. House Bill 3002, an act naming the road commencing at Junction Palompon, Merida Isabel Ormoc Road in Barangay Libertad and traversing Barangay Salvacion and Dayungan up to Junction Palo Carigara Ormoc Road in the city of Ormoc, province of Leyte, as the Dr. Mayong Rodriguez Avenue.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate, I move that we close the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual amendments, but according to our records, there are committee amendments. I move that we
Session suspended. Balik tayo. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of amendments and approve the committee amendments, if any, as contained in the respective committee reports of the aforementioned bills.
Session suspended. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to close the period of amendment.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
I move to reopen the period of sponsorship and debate for House Bills 2671 contained in Committee Report 67 and House Bill 3002 contained in Committee Report 68, submitted by the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt the explanatory note of Representative Romeo S. Momo for the following House bills, for the aforementioned House bills, for his sponsorship remarks.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we close the period of sponsorship and debate.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of sponsorship and debate is now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of amendments and approve the committee amendments, if any, as contained in the respective committee reports of the aforementioned bills.
Is there any objection? The chair hears now. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we close the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The period of amendments now closed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to vote on second reading the following House bills: House Bill 2671 under Committee Report 67 and House Bill 3002 under Committee Report 68.
There's a motion for the omnibus approval of House Bill number 2671 and 3002 on second reading. House, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill number 2671 and House Bill number 3002 is now approved on second reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend session for a few minutes.
Session is suspended.
Session resumed. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to consider Committee Report number 102 submitted by the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. For this purpose, direct the Secretary General to read the title of the committee report.
There is a motion to consider Committee Report number 102 submitted by the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the committee report.
Committee Report number 102, submitted by the Committee on Ethics and Privileges regarding Committee Case number PS-2026-12, entitled In the Matter of the Order of the House through the referral of the privileged speech of Representative Rolando M. Valeriano and the interpellations thereon in the House Plenary Session on 27 January 2026, relative to Rep. Francisco A. Barzaga's conduct during the period of his 60-day suspension, on the adopted findings and recommendations as contained in Committee Report number 28, dated 1 December 2025, on Committee Case number SC-2025-3.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to recognize the Chairperson of the Committee on Ethics and Privileges, Representative J.C.M. Abalos.
The Honorable Abalos is recognized.
Madam Speaker, the Committee on Ethics and Privileges Secretariat received on January 28, 2026, a referral from the House Plenary of the privileged speech of Representative Rolando M. Valeriano delivered on 27 January 2026, and the interpellations thereon relative to Representative Francisco A. Barzaga's conduct during the period of his 60 days suspension, on the adopted findings and recommendations as contained in Committee Report number 28, dated 1 December 2025, on Committee Case number 3, entitled Representative Puno et al. Versus Representative Barsaga of the 4th District of Cavite. The referral of the transcript of the privileged speech consists of 10 pages, including the transmittal from the Deputy Secretary General, Legislative Operations Department. The matter was docketed as Committee Case number 12. The privileged speech alleged that Representative Barsaga flagrantly violated Section 141 or Rule 20 of the Rules of House of Representatives when he continuously defied the stern warning issued by the House upon the imposition of the penalty of suspension upon him on December 1, 2026, when he, during the period of suspension, continued posting in his social media accounts the following malicious content as follows. NUP congressmen received bribes from Enrique Razon in various gatherings in Soler prior to 2025 election in exchange for supporting Speaker Martin Romualdez. Congressman Romeo Acop's death will not stop him from facing justice. He must be investigated for involvement in the flood control corruptions. Corruption and plunder against the Filipino people is a sin against the Lord. Congressman Romeo Acop is now suffering through external damnation. He has left the comfort of his luxurious mansion in exchange for a pit of external hellfire. That is the fate of all corrupt politicians. During the interpellation of Representative Tanuatco, Rep. Valeriano stressed that Representative Barsaga was sternly warned that a repetition of similar misconduct would merit more severe sanctions from the House of Representatives. He therefore urged the Committee on Ethics and Privileges to investigate the continuous violations of Rep. Barsaga of the House rules and to impose further suspension from office against Rep. Barsaga. Representative De Lima, on the other hand, clarified whether Representative Valeriano would like the Committee on Ethics to hear and try new allegations or continue from the previous case. In response, Rep. Valeriano left the matter to the discretion of the committee for appropriate action. Thereafter, the House of Representatives in plenary ordered the committee to, number 1, conduct a hearing in its next scheduled meeting and conduct a thorough assessment on the conduct of Rep. Barsaga during the period of suspension of the adopted findings and recommendations as contained in Committee Report 28. 2, require the respondent Barsaga to appear in the hearing of the committee. And 3, immediately report to the House of its findings and recommendations after such hearing. Pursuant to the order of the House and the referral of the privileged speech, a meeting was then called by the chairperson, setting a hearing on the matter on February 3, 2026 at 1 p.m. with notice to the respondent and the complainants. Representative Barsaga was furnished with a copy of the referral of the transcript of the privileged speech and its interpellations with a directive to personally appear before the committee to present evidence to the contrary, with warning that failure to appear thereon will be considered a waiver of the right to a hearing to present evidence and conduct cross-examination, if any. During the conduct of the hearing on the matter, the committee noted that the 60-day suspension of Representative Barsaga expired on January 30, 2026. While serving his suspension, however, the committee took note that Rep. Barzaga committed similar acts for which he was sanctioned. The committee members were in agreement to consider the acts of Rep. Barzaga during the period of 60-day suspension to be a continuing violation subject of a prior disciplinary action, which the committee have decided upon its Committee Report 28, dated December 1, 2025. Specifically, the committee were in agreement that jurisdiction to conduct hearing anew on the subsequent similar acts were reacquired by the committee upon the order of the House of Representatives, expressly directing the committee to conduct a hearing to assess the conduct of Rep. Barzaga during the period of his suspension, pertaining to Committee Report 28. Hence, the committee decided to consider the referred privileged speech not as a separate and independent matter, but a continuation of prior misconduct as ordered by the House of Representatives. Thereafter, during the deliberations, Rep. Valeriano sponsored his privileged speech invoking that Respondent Barzaga committed serious violations during his 60-day suspension and presented his case before the committee. Respondent Barzaga, however, was not in attendance and was considered by the committee to be in default. After exhaustive deliberation on the matter, upon a unanimous vote of all the members present, there being a quorum, the committee has concluded that a violation of law, rule, or regulation of the House relating to the conduct of a House member within the jurisdiction of the committee has occurred. The committee found that there is substantial evidence that the violation has been proved, warranting imposition of one of the disciplinary actions listed in paragraph B, section 52, pursuant to section 41(7) of the committee rules. The sole issue, Madam Speaker, to be resolved is whether or not Respondent Barzaga flagrantly violated Section 141 of the Rules of House of Representatives when he posted several social media contents during the period of his suspension from office on December 1, 2025 to January 30, 2026, which ultimately constitutes disorderly behavior that reflect upon the House of Representatives. The complainant alleged that respondent repeated the misconduct for which he was previously sanctioned and in fact escalated and intensified the unruly behavior to include vilification of a deceased colleague and defamatory imputations against colleagues and a private citizen through his official social media platform that mocked the name and honor of the House of Representatives. The complainant stressed that the defiant acts of Representative Barzaga, while suspended from office, clearly demonstrated that suspension from office as a disciplinary measure has failed, and that Rep. Barzaga's post-suspension conduct reflects his unfitness for legislative duties. All these, the complainant argues, warrant the imposition of further suspension and, if appropriate, the penalty of expulsion from office. We find basis in the arguments of the complainant. Respondent Barzaga has been sanctioned for previous misconduct, for disorderly behavior when he posted incendiary social media content and retained and failed to remove publicly viewable, inappropriate, and indecent photos in violation of Section 141A, Rule 20 of the House Rules and Section 4C of Republic Act 6713. The committee has issued Committee Report Number 28 detailing its findings and recommendation as to these misconducts, which was adopted in its entirety by the House of Representatives on December 1, 2025. The committee's recommendation included a stern warning to Rep. Barzaga that a repetition of similar misconduct will result to a more severe disciplinary action. We agree with the complainant that the stern warning was made clearly and unequivocally and served as an express caution against repetition of similar misconduct. The period of suspension was made 60 days to afford Rep. Barzaga the time to pause and reflect upon his actions with a view to instill the institutional standards of decorum, propriety, and professionalism fitting for a legislative representative. At the very least, the committee expects Rep. Barzaga to have exercised restraint and prudence while suspended from office. Instead, the contrary happened. It appears, Madam Speaker, that reform is not forthcoming for Rep. Barzaga, who has again demonstrated utter contempt for institutional standards. The malicious commentaries made against his colleagues are indeed conduct incompatible with the dignity expected of a legislator, even using his social media account with his official title, Congressman. We find it scornful and disparage the name of the dead, especially a colleague who cannot defend his name and honor before a large audience as Representative Barzaga now has. Respondent violated Republic Act 6713, Complainant alleges that respondent demonstrated continued objectification of women for which he had been previously disciplined, and thus further violated norms of behavior for public officials by acting contrary to good morals, public order, and public interest. Section 4 of Republic Act 6713 mandates every public official to observe professionalism, justness, and sincerity. Committee finds the respondent to have breached the standards of propriety, professionalism, and decency for which he was sanctioned prior to this matter. He had demonstrated incorrigibility in his conduct in tarnishing the dignity of his position and the House of Representatives. The committee afforded Representative Barzaga the opportunity to present his defense and to present evidence to the contrary. He was duly notified of the hearing and were furnished with copies of the allegations against him. He, however, chose to completely ignore the directive of the committee. The committee has in fact took note of Representative Barzaga's social media post circulating online, which proves that he is aware of the subsequent allegations against him and that he is being expected to attend the hearing of the committee. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, Representative Barzaga declared that he will not be attending the ethics hearing and had the audacity to post, "I will be ignoring the summons of the ethics committee. Expel me if they want, but the Philippine Congress has done nothing but destroy the lives of the Filipino people." Madam Speaker, the committee condemns Rep. Barzaga's brazen disrespect for its authority. All members of the House of Representatives have the sworn duty to respect the Committee on Ethics rules of procedure and the authority of the House of Representatives to conduct its disciplinary process. Choosing to entirely ignore the disciplinary proceedings in the Committee on Ethics in a manner that undermines the work of the committee ultimately undermines the House of Representatives as an institution. The committee shall not in any way tolerate conduct that brings the committee and the entire House into disgrace and contempt. After a thorough deliberation on the case, the committee finds that Respondent Barzaga of the 4th District of Cavite committed repeated escalating misconduct during the period of his suspension from office during December 1, 2025 to January 30, 2026, which reflected negatively upon the dignity, integrity, and reputation of the House of Representatives as an institution and of the members of the House, and recommends the imposition of another penalty of suspension from office for 60 days without the benefit of salaries and allowances. The imposition of the penalty carries with it a stern warning that a repetition of another misconduct would warrant a more severe disciplinary action, including expulsion from office. Maraming salamat, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to adopt the finding and recommendations contained in Committee Report number 102 and pursuant to our rules, direct the Secretary General to read the title of the measures and thereafter call the roll of members for nominal voting.
There is a motion to adopt the findings and recommendations contained in the committee report number 102. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Secretary General is hereby directed to call the roll of members for nominal voting.
Roll call of members on the adoption of the findings and recommendations contained in Committee Report number 102 regarding Committee Case number PS-2026-12. Abalos, Abante, Asidre, Acosta, Adyong, Advincula, Agaraw, Agyao, Alano, Alba, Albano, Almario Chino Miguel, Almario Dennis, Almonte, Alvarez Jose, Alvarez Mercedes, Amante, Amatong, Ang, Angara, Angeles, Aquino. Aquino Magsaysay. Arbison Munir. Arbison Munir Jr. Arenas. Arrogancia. Asistio. Ataide. Aumentado. Ayon. Bagaw. Balindong. Banyas Nograles. Bangkoro. Barba. Barbers. Baronda. Barzaga. Baskug. Bautista Claude. Bautista Johan Monich. Bautista Lim. Beltran. Benitez Alfredo. Benitez Javier Miguel. Bernos Ching. Bernos JB. Biron. Bocobo. Bolilia. Bondok. Briones. Bulot Begtang. Cagas. Calderon. Calixto. Hawagdan. Cari. Castro. Caiton. Celeste. Sendanya. Ceniza. Jan Franz Norbert Joselito Almario. Chan Junard. Chua. Chua Tai. Chungalao. Ko. Ko Pilar. Pohuangco Jaime Eduardo Mark. Pohuangco Mark. Colliantes. Corvera. Cruz Agatha. Cruz Ricardo. Cruzado. Kua. Dagook. Dalog. Dayanghirang. Daza. De Jesus. De Lima. De Venecia. Defensor. De Gamo. Del Mar. De Los Santos. Di Macuja. Di Maguila. Di Maporo Imelda. Di Maporo City Amina. Diokno. Dionisio. Domingo. Dumogan. Duterte Harold James. Duterte Omar Vincent. Duterte Paulo. D. Faustino. D. Faustino Michael Carlos. D. Ian Paul. Lago. Emano. Enverga. Erice. Escudero. Espares. Espina. Estrella. Ferrer Antonio. Ferrer Jeffrey. Flores. Cortez. Frasco. Sneddy. Puentebella, Galang, Galeos, Garbin, Garcia Albert, Garcia Dante, Garcia Jose Arturo, Garcia Karen Hope, Garcia Maria Angela, Guardiola, Garin, Gatchalian,
Yes, and may be allowed to explain my vote later.
Yes, you may.
Gato, Glepa, Go, Gomez, Gonzalez Alexandria, Gonzalez Eliza Micaela, Gonzalez Christopher Sheen, Gonzalez Roy, Goriseta, Guico, Gintu, Gulyas, Gutierrez, Hernandez Cherise Ann, Hernandez Dennis, Hernandez Ferdinand, Hernandez Ramil, Hofer Hasim, Horibata, Ismula, Iway, Javier, Co Antonio, Co Eliza, Co Wilton, Konghun, Ko, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagbas, Lagdameo Jose Manuel, Lagdameo Monique Yasmin Maria, Lagman, Lagon Daphne, Lagon Sunny, Lara, Lazatin, Ledesma, Legacion, Legarda, Legazpi, Leviste, Libanan, Lopez, Gloria, Loyola, Luistro, Lumayag, Macapagal Arroyo, Makasait, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Mangudadatu, Aniquis, Marañon, Marcoleta, Marcos,
Madam Speaker, Sagip Party List votes no, and I wish to explain my vote after the nominal voting.
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Marquez, Mastura, Matibag, Matugas, Mendoza, Mercado, Mercado Revilla, Miraflores, Momo, Montes, Nava, Nazal, Nisay, Nolasco, Oamenal Henry,
Madam Speaker, Bagong Henerasyon Party List votes no, and we would like the opportunity to explain our vote later.
Yes, you may.
Oamenal Sancho Fernando, Oducado, Olivares, Ongchuan, Ordanes, Oreta, Ortega, Uwano Dizon, Padiernos, Panaligan, Pancho, Panotes, Pascual, Perez, Pimentel, Plaza, Pleito, Poe, Primicias Agabas, Pumaren, Puno, Kimbo, Rama, Recto, Rehencia, Remulla, Revilla Brian, Revilla Ramon Jolo, Redon, Rivera, Robes, Rodriguez Eulogio, Rodriguez Maximo, Rodriguez Rufus, Roman, Romualdez Andrew Julian, Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Romualdez Yeda Marie, Romualdo, Romulo, Roque, Sagarbaria, Sakaluran, Salceda, Sally, Salvacion, Salvador, Salvame, San Fernando, Santos,
Madam
Marie-
Speaker, Kamanggagawa Party List votes no, and we reserve the right to explain our vote later.
Yes, you may.
Santos, Maria Alana Samantha, Santos, Mark Anthony, Shimura, Singson Richelle, Singson Ronald, Singson Mihan, Solon, Suwan, Swansing Bella Vanessa, Swansing Micaela Angela, Suarez, Suntay, Talyado, Tan Aman, Tan Joseph, Tan Keith Micah, Tan Reynolds Michael, Tan Samir, Tan Stephen James, Tan Shai, Tan Watko, Tariela, Teodoro, Tereng, Teves, Tiangco, Tieng, Tino, Tolentino, Tuan, Tulfo Jocelyn, Tulfo Ralph Wendell, Tupas, Tutor, T, Umali, Ungab, Uy De Carlo, Uy Roberto, Valeriano, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Veloso, Veloso Tuazon, Vergara, Villa, Villafuerte Miguel Luis, Villafuerte Vincenzo Renato Luigi, Villanueva, Villarica, Violago, Yamsuan, Yap Arthur, Yap Christopherson, Yap Edvic, Yap Eric, Yap John G. Snell, Yatko, Inares, Yu Jazel Victoria, Yu Joseph Kim, Yulo, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Isabel Maria, Zubiri. Second call on the adoption of the findings and recommendations contained in Committee Report Number 102. Alvarez Mercedes. Amatong. Angara. Aumentado. Ayon. Banyas Nograles. Barzaga. Bautista Claude. Bautista Lim. Benitez Alfredo. Bondoc. Sendanya.
Madam Speaker, I vote no with the option to explain my vote. Thank you.
Yes, you may.
Shan Junard. Chungalao. Cojuangco Jaime Eduardo Mark. Kua. Dayang Hirang. De Los Santos Alfred. D. Ian Paul. Ferrer Jeffrey. Frasco. Puentebella. Go. Gulias. Hernandez Dennis. Ismula. Iway. Ho Antonio. Co Wilton. Lagdameo Monique Yasmin Maria. Lagon Sunny. Leviste. Makasait. Nolasco. Oreta. Notes. Rama. Hensha. Remulia. Revilla Ramon Jolo. Salceda. Sally. Salvacion. Singson Ronald. Suntay. Talyado. Tan Amen. Tan Keith Micah. Tiangco. Tolentino. Tulfo Jocelyn. Tutor. T. Vargas. Villanueva. Violago. Yap Christopherson. Yap Edvic. U. Jazel Victoria.
with 238 members voting in affirmative, 10 against, 9 abstentions, the findings and recommendations contained in the committee report number 102 are hereby adopted. The Honorable Barsaga, who is present at this session hall, is hereby notified that he is suspended for a period of 60 days, effective immediately. Session suspended. Session resumed. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I would like to recognize the individuals that would like to explain their vote. Honorable Jeanette Karin.
The Honorable Janet Gertz recognized. Please be reminded that you have 3 minutes to explain your vote.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleagues. I voted yes, but with a heavy heart, because I have tried several times with extreme patience helping the son of our former colleague, Congressman P.D. Barsaga. Because as a mother, as a member of this august body, I felt before that there was hope in making him understand that disorderly behavior and conduct has no place in governance. However, Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues, his repeated wanton disrespect of facts, disrespect to the institution, and his habitual lies, fake news, and fantasy to keep on producing distorted facts has led to confusion and chaos, something that the Filipino people does not deserve. Parliamentary procedures and behavior has to be observed. And mind you, Madam Speaker, it is not contained in the committee report. But during his suspension, yours truly, despite the extreme understanding that I have exercised for Congressman Kiko, the newly suspended Kiko Barsaga, I, myself, has been a victim of his fantasy and habitual lies and disregard of facts and truth. Just very recently, the good vice mayor of the municipality of Dueñas, who is a very good friend of Congressman Ferj Biron, died due to accidental firing. I do not know her that much. I haven't had the opportunity to be with her and to work with her, but I empathize with the pain that the family has to suffer. But that pain was aggravated when Kiko Barsaga delivered a speech in a podium and made a circus out of the death of former Vice Mayor Lamasan. Makatarungan bang paglaruan natin ang hinanakit ng isang pamilya? Makatarungan bang gamitin natin ang ating posisyon para gawing laro ang pagmanipula ng isip ng ating mga kababayan? Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues, it pains me that in fact, it's not even extension of suspension because his acts is already tantamount to expulsion. Ang totoo niyan, marami lang sa atin ang naaawa sa kanya at marami ang naririnig kong nagsasabing, nakakahiya. But Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues, hindi hiya ang nararamdaman ko. Ang nararamdaman ko ay awa. Bilang isang doktor, bilang isang nanay, naiintindihan ko that there might be personal circumstances surrounding the events that are eventually unfolding. It's time for Kiko Barsaga to reflect and deeply look into personal matters while he is on suspension. Nakakaawa, hindi lamang siya, dahil ang stress ng panggobyerno ay dapat siniseryoso, pero mas nakakaawa ang kanyang distrito na kailangan ng representante. With that, Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues, with the indulgence of our colleague, the Honorable Kiko Barsaga, he would understand that our action is because we are a Filipino and our government deserves the service that we have to generate and deliver. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to recognize Honorable Paulo Henry Marcoleta for his explanation.
The Honorable Marcoleta is recognized.
Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues, isang mapagpalayang hapon po sa ating lahat. I rise to respectfully place on record my no vote in support for Honorable Francisco Kiko Barsaga and to articulate principled opposition to any disciplinary action that undermines constitutional freedoms and the sovereign mandate of Kong Kiko Barsaga's constituency. It bears repeating that Honorable Barsaga holds his seat not by appointment or party fiat, but because of the direct mandate of his constituents as reflected in the official election results and his assumption of office in Article 6, Section 6 of the Constitution. It points out that legislators derive their authority from the electorate. Any penalty imposed on Kong Barsaga that derives the people of Dasmariñas of representation must be carefully scrutinized against constitutional standards. Ang pinarurusahan po natin sa mga hakbang ito ay hindi si Kong Barsaga, kung hindi ang mga taong nasasakupan ng kanyang pamumuno. Ang mga mamamayan ng Dasmariñas, Cavite ang nagbigay ng kanyang mandato at siyang nagluklok sa kanya upang iparating at marinig ang kanilang tinig sa kapulungang ito. Tila tinatanggalan natin siya o sila ng lehitimo at malinaw na pamumuno sa paulit-ulit na mga hakbang upang patahimikin ang kanilang representante. Patuloy na pinarurusahan ang kongresistang nagmiyaw-miyaw, ngunit wala pa rin nakakasuhan na malalaking magnanakaw. Masyado naman po tayong naging sensitibo. Sa larong basketball, tayo tinatawag na mga nana. Konting sagi lang, nagpa-foul na agad. Kong Miao Barsaga is merely expressing his views under a current backdrop of unprecedented level of corruption in government never before seen. Nagsasalita lang naman po siya base sa kanyang nakikita at naobserbahan. Hindi po siya nag-imbento o gumagawa ng kwento na kathang isip lamang. If the disciplinary actions against Kong Barsaga stem from speech that discusses public issues, such as statements on corruption or critical commentary, such actions risk contravening the fundamental right to freedom of speech and curtailing legitimate political expression. In closing, I reiterate the call I made the last time I rose in plenary to speak about the same matter. Huwag po natin hahayaan ang institusyong ito, ang House of Representatives, nagipitin ang kanilang sariling mga miyembro. Maraming salamat po, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may I now recognize Representative Robert Nazal to explain his vote.
The Honorable Nazal is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues, 6 months ago when this matter first came before the House, I voted to reprimand, not suspend, Representative Kiko Barsaga. I did so after carefully weighing our Constitution, our rules, and the fundamental demands of due process. While I considered the conduct unbecoming of a member of Congress, I did not believe then, nor do I believe now, that it met the threshold for suspension. Suspension is a severe sanction. It temporarily withdraws not only a member's privileges, but also the representation owed to his constituents. It is, in effect, the final step before the political death penalty of expulsion. Our discipline must be principled and proportionate, not reactionary. To impose another 60-day suspension today would be inconsistent with that principle and with the standards we seek to uphold. While attacks against this institution through social media are indeed improper and undermine public trust, our response must remain measured and just. We have a duty to balance accountability with fairness and to allow room for correction without unnecessarily depriving the people of the 4th District of Cavite of their chosen representative. For these reasons, in the interest of consistency and institutional integrity, I respectfully oppose the motion to suspend Representative Barzaga anew. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may I now recognize Representative Elijah San Fernando to explain his vote.
The Honorable San Fernando is recognized.
Madam Speaker, mga kaibigan, ang kalayaan po sa pagsasalita at pagpapahayag ng damdamin ay nag-a-apply kahit sa taong pinakaayaw natin. Kahit pakaalitan, kaaway, o kinasusuklaman natin ng isang tao, hindi nito maaalis ang kanyang karapatang makapagsalita at ipahayag ang kanyang saloobin. Freedom of speech, Madam Speaker, is not selective. Hindi ito pumipili ng kulay o paniniwala sa politika. It is a constitutionally guaranteed and protected right. This representation understands the concerns of our colleagues in this august chamber. True, we must observe proper decorum. True, we, elected officials, are held to a higher ethical standard. Totoo na dapat nirerespeto at pinoproteksyonan ang ating institusyon. Pero ako po ay naniniwala na ang muling pagsuspinde kay Representative Barzaga ay hindi magpapanumbalik ng respeto ng taong bayan sa ating institusyon. Ang pagsuspinde sa isang halal na opisyal ay hindi magpoprotekta, bagkus lalong magpapahina sa kongresong ito. The will of the electorate should always reign supreme. Si Representative Barzaga ang pinili ng mamamayan ng Dasmariñas. Kaya sila lang din ang may karapatan na magtanggal sa kanya. Hayaan po natin na ang mga taga Dasmariñas ang humusga, humatol sa kanilang hinalal na kinatawan. Yun lamang po, Madam Speaker at mga kaibigan sa bulwagang ito, magandang hapon po sa atin.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may now recognize Representative Egay Erice to explain his vote.
The Honorable Erice is recognized.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I still recall some 50 years ago, when former President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr., speaking to us, youth leaders of the nation, saying he wanted to combine the wisdom of the youth with the foolishness of the old. He said, the greatest advantage of the youth is the right to make mistakes in the process of learning. Mayroon po kasabihan, pagka yung bata, kakamali, kumisan, nakakatuwa. Pero pagka yung matandang katulad ko ang nagkamali, parang nakakabwisit na. We have already sanctioned Congressman Kiko with 60 days suspension. And in respect to my old friend, the late P.D. Barsaga, considering his youth, I can no longer vote for an extension of his suspension. Furthermore, there are lingering questions regarding members of this House violating conflict of interest, contractors, traders selling projects, yet we have not acted on them. In fact, we have tolerated them. What message would it send if we suspend those who fight corruption while allowing those who commit to remain untouched in this House? Some of the posts of Congressman Kiko, I would submit as extremely reckless. Pero nakikita ko rin po, meron din po siya mga posts that reflects public sentiment. Kaya ngayon po, pinili ko ang magpatawad. Dasal ko, Panginoon, patawarin niyo po ako tulad ng pagpapatawad ko sa kapwa ko. Pinili ko, chose to be kind. Not just to Kiko. Chose to be kind to the almost 1 million population of Dasmariñas, Cavite, the constituency of Congressman Kiko Barsaga. Salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to suspend session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
Session resumed. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we may respectfully request to acknowledge the guest of Representative Jose Aquino II. They are the newly appointed senior officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Captain Noel Stephen Marzan, Captain Paul Carbajal, Colonel Beneluz Ingracial, Colonel Ray Delema, Colonel Irvin Lagudgud, Colonel Jose Bravo, Captain Jess Pilar, Captain Renante Mao, Captain Angelito Ifable, Captain Jennifer Monforte, Captain Gary Hilario, Captain Roselyn Ruiz, Colonel Belinda Ferrer Alonto, Colonel Juji Grant Generalo, Colonel Joel Vergara, Colonel Benji Pendon, Colonel Ronaldo Urbano, Captain Marie Angelica Sisican, Captain Roderick Jimeno, Captain Ruchi Ventura, Colonel Jennifer Largado, Colonel Joel Del Mendo, Colonel Alan Mangasser, Colonel Dara Rijes, Colonel Randy de la Cruz, Colonel Demetrio Obispo Jr., Colonel Julibert Tabige, Colonel Glenn Ventura, Colonel Noel Galaza, Colonel Sergio Ronquillo III, Captain Brandon Belendres, Captain Roderick Tamalayan, Colonel Sherapay Mendoza, and Colonel Christian May Manlangit.
To the guest, Honorable Joboy Aquino of the Lone District of Butuan City, the newly appointed senior officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to direct the Secretary General to immediately submit to the Senate the bills that were approved on yesterday, February 3, 2020.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, for the information of the body, we are in receipt of a letter from Representative Edvic Yap of ACT-CIS party list informing the House of Representatives of his resignation as member of the House. Mr. Speaker, in view of the resignation of Representative Edvic Yap, may we request that the Secretary General be directed to drop Representative Yap from the role of members of the House of Representatives.
The Secretary General is hereby directed to drop Representative Edvic G. Yap from the role of members of the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adjourn session until Monday, February 9,
Parliamentary inquiry.
2026 until 3 p.m.
Is there an objection? Hearing none, the session is adjourned until Monday, February 9 at 3 in the afternoon.